Good morning, everyone. And for Hogarth's community, good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it might still be morning for them as well, because most of them are based in America, so it's probably morning as well.
That is true. That is true. So, as you can tell, I have Hogarth with me for one of my early bird lives. I do these random early bird lives. I've done that ever since I started YouTube. After I started putting my face on the screen, before it was just my hands. I did my hands for so long, and yeah, it was just I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I just really didn't feel comfortable putting my face on that. There was no conspiracy theory around it. It was just my uncomfortable, you know how we are.
Mhm.
And so once I was able to do that, then I started to do these things called the early birds because I am up early. I am up between 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter what
Wow.
time I go to bed. It's something in me. I think it was probably my ancestors were farmers. That's what I'm
Right.
hanging my head on. But anyways, I want to introduce Hogarth. For those who don't know, please go look at his channel. It's fantastic. Go subscribe
Thank
if you
you.
haven't already. And I want to catch up with you. So, what do you do on your channel? How do they get a hold of you? Do you do readings? Go for it, honey. Give us a synopsis of what
Oh,
goes on your channel.
brilliant. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure to collaborate with you. And Sheila will be joining me on my show, Hogarth, this Saturday. So that's something that's been running on my channel for a while. Also got Dr. Lina Rodriguez and Lady G, who's currently recovering from a little health episode in her life. So we open up the guest slots from time to time. So Sheila will be a guest on my channel next week. But what's my channel about? So I am a Neo-Vedic astrologer. What does that mean? It means that I follow the tradition of the 5,000-year-old tradition of Vedic astrology, but I also include the outer planets. So I include Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and I also include Ceres and Chiron. So I look at 15 factors in a person's chart, and I do consultations and stuff like that as well. I'm taking May off, but I think June's pretty much booked out. Take a look if anyone's interested, but definitely July. So I look at people's fate and destiny. I look at like their birth chart overview. Planets are people. So which is what I've just put in my new book, which I recently published, doing great, called the it's called The Candid Guide to Neo-Vedic Astrology. So it's available on Amazon, Kindle, print and hardback. And basically, planets are people.
Do you
So
have
when
a
I'm,
book with you?
oh, of course. Oh,
Show it. Let's get it. And I appreciate the copy you sent me through what did you put? You put it on email. Anyways, you emailed it to me.
yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. So here is the paperback. So here it is, the Candid Guide to Vedic Astrology, all in there. And what I really love is the hardback. So this is the hardback copy here, beautifully done. And I love the smell of the pages. So
Yeah.
you can see all of it in there. And it's also got my illustrations in there as well, because I'm also an artist and illustrator. Here we are. Here's one of the pages
Really,
that,
you did that? You're an
yeah,
artist. Oh my
yeah.
God, Hogarth. Well, I'm always
So
impressed with people who know how to draw. I know how to paint. Is a huge difference. A lot of people are like, oh, so you know how to draw? I'm like, no, that's not me. I'll paint that thing up with a whole bunch of colors and and shadows and all
thank
that. But
you.
I am not a drawer.
Thank you. Yeah, because I used to be an illustrator. Well, technically, I am still an illustrator, but now I can illustrate my own projects. So I used to be a painter and an illustrator. I went to art school and all of that. And that illustration, that's actually, this is might be another one here. So this is the original. So you can see here where I'm describing the night sky and all of the different sections, the nakshatras, the star asterisms that actually make up the star signs. So they're all in there. That's the Earth in the middle, the Gandanta points, the fixed royal stars as well, the Persian stars. So it's all in there, all in the book, all filled with the different illustrations as well. So yeah.
I just got impressed one more time with you. I'm always impressed with you. But wow,
Oh,
that's
my phone's ringing. Let me just stop it 1 minute.
okay.
Oh my God. Sorry, let me just 1 second. Let me just
It's all right. We have
quickly.
lives. I always tell you, we have lives. We have people who actually call us. Okay, come on. My panda bear just wants to be in the middle of the video right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
so sweet. Hello,
my
hello.
she's an Aussie doodle and she has to be involved. Yes, you are. Okay, all right.
Sweet, sweet doggy.
Yeah, she's over here bugging me like she wanted to be on. She does that every so often. Then, anyways, uh, I was gonna ask you something else too. So, have you lived in the UK all of your life? Have you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was born and raised in London. So I still live in London now. I live in a place called Hackney, and I live opposite a park, and it's become a very, very trendy part of town. It wasn't always so. When I was growing up, like Hackney was not the most, no, basically no one wanted to be seen dead in Hackney, but now it's over the last, I would say last 15 years or so, 15, 20 years actually, it's become immensely popular, and it just has a lot of good things. The schools have improved, so it's got good schools. The council's run pretty well and all of that kind of stuff, and that's attracted a lot of people over time. But it's also the greenest borough. So Hackney has, London's very green anyway, but Hackney has the most parks, and I live opposite one, so I feel very happy.
Fantastic. I know the ebb and flow of neighborhoods. We have the exact same thing. Like, years ago, it wasn't like this, and then they improve it, and then it gets better, and then the worst part, the best part, like this used to be so good part of town, and now that's trash. And we're like, what's going on? The ebb and flow of
Mm.
neighborhoods for sure. All right. So everybody's kind of getting anxious. We're here because we're going to do some political readings and whatever else we think of, right?
Mhm.
The
Absolutely.
first question up says, Green Goddess. She's like, please read on Trump going to jail. They are so. We all do. We all like, is he going to go to jail? There's a few details that I like to also put into the reading. Is
Mhm.
like when he goes to jail, if there's any other information, like is it going to cause so much havoc in the United States? Is it, you know what I mean? See if we can gather some more information about, is he going to jail? Yeah, maybe. Is it going to cause havoc throughout this
Mhm.
country? Because I think that's the reason why 9 times out of 10 the judges just won't do it, because they don't want the problems, the extra problems. We already have problems, but the extra problems of it.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
let's
And
go to. Go ahead.
one thing I'll definitely add to that as well, though, for the audience, and they may or may not necessarily want to hear it. If Trump is put in jail, it doesn't mean it's over.
It's true.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know, because everyone's like, oh, like once Trump's in jail, ding dong, the witch is dead, and the house will fall on the witch like Wizard of Oz. He's done so much to change the political weather and stuff like that. And like, remember what he's been saying already. If he's put in jail, he's going to be like, I'm like Nelson Mandela. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
so
pretty sure he's probably dreaming of somebody breaking him out. He
right,
has that
right.
grandiose idea of somebody breaking him out. I'm sure that's his ultimate. What would it be? The ultimate ego boost for him.
Right, right. So it's a tricky one. I can understand now why judges are hesitant about locking him up, because they don't want to play into his victim narrative and his martyr narrative, which is
Yep.
already very seductive for a lot of people. So, when they do it, it has to be really kind of like ironclad, and they should do it for a meaningful amount of of time. That's what I'm saying. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
But he
Well, let's
certainly
do
deserves to go to prison.
Yeah, let's do two questions. Will he go to prison? And then we'll swipe and see if we get a yes or a no. And then if it's a yes, let's see if how much havoc is going to be had. Let's
Oh,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's a good one. So will he go to prison? All right. And then Sharon Saipe, thank you, is saying for entertainment purposes only.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
Sherry from the Voices of the Swamp is here.
Oh,
Terry
hi,
is
Sherry.
here. Yes, we have so many. Sharon Swipe. I think Marjorie Laura is one of yours because it looks like she's on your
Yes,
channel.
yes.
So we have a
So
lot of mutuals here. Thank you all for being here for sure.
I'm trying to get Mel on the show actually. Like he went. I was on with Linda G was on Hogarth the other day, and he did a donation, and I said, Mel, you've got my number. Drop me a WhatsApp. It'll get me on. And I've not heard back from him yet. I've got to find another way to get in touch with him. He's us YouTubers. We have a lot of emails, so it's kind of like
Oh,
sometimes these things.
I agree. And just try to collaborate with everybody. We have such a big, huge community. I have, I think I go all the way out until like November almost sometimes. All the collaborations, but
I do.
all right. Since you are my guest, you go first. Well, if you get your cards down.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see. Let's see what I've got. So here's some of my cards here. Let's flip these over. Will he go to jail? Ooh, interesting. Interesting. All right. So the question is, will Trump go to jail? Now, the first card that I get, which is sort of symbolizing what the whole reading is about, is the Two of Swords. Now, we know twos are all about making choices, making decisions and stuff like that. But the Two of Swords is kind of like trying to avoid the inevitable or trying to avoid a decision that you don't want to make. I think this Two of Swords is really talking about the judges on all of the cases, the conundrum that they feel, the reticence that they feel, the nervousness that they feel about locking him up. Because we all know Trump should have been in jail years ago, not even like yesterday, years ago. And what's happened is if they'd actually just locked him up quickly, as he should have been done, it would have been a completely different narrative. But in that time, they've allowed him to kind of like poison all the wells, so to speak. So now it's actually a tricky one. So I think this is the judiciary who feel nervous about making that choice, but they've got to take the blindfold off. It has to be faced. Trump is just going to keep provoking and undermining the authorities of the law. Do you see? So they have to act. If we look here, in my 5-card spread, the second card can often be seen as an obstacle position. We've got the 8 of Wands. Ah, you've got it as well. There you go. And the 8 of Wands, along with the Knight of Swords, I describe as the fastest cards in the deck. The Chariot is also quick. So this deals with things moving quickly, speed in a speedy kind of way. However, it's technically in the obstacle position. So we can view it as reversed, which sometimes can refer to kind of issues with business or things not moving forward as quickly as we would like, delays. So we know already, because of the indecision by judges, it's delayed Trump going to jail. However, in the middle, we get the 10 of Cups. Yes, the 10 of Cups, which is the family. Oh, you're joking. See, look at that.
No, I'm not.
Incredible. So in the middle, we've got the 10 of Cups. So I think this is how everyone will feel once Trump has gone to prison. People are going to feel at least that there's a sense of justice, optimism, literally people like the kids dancing in the street. So I think this is us or the collective feeling better about Trump going to prison because there needs to be some accountability. Then we see the situation here of walking away from something. So could this be that once he goes to prison, could it be that more people will actually walk away from Trump? I think his hardcore, rusted on, they'll defend him to the hill, irrespectively of what he does, because they've shown loyalty to him already, irrespective of what he says. But I think if he does go to prison, those that weren't sure may walk away from him because they can no longer in good conscience support someone who's a convicted felon. Do you know what I mean? It will be official. They won't be able to deny it anymore. So we can see that there. And then my outcome card, because the question is, would there be hassle and stuff? And we'll see what comes up next. But we get the Knight of Swords, which I refer to as the fastest card in the deck. You can see all the hooves are off the ground. So I think what it means is, like, if Trump is put in prison, which I think there's a good chance he will be, he's going to, oh, you are joking. Look at that. He's going to try and incite violence. But it's remarkable because I've pulled 3 cards and you've got 3 that are the same. So how do you interpret your cards? That's remarkable, isn't it? Wow.
I know, that's what I was, every time you picked up one, I'm like, I got the same thing. I think we're coming up with the same thing, the struggle. I do get judgment though. I at this one point in time, I do think I kind of tapped into what the judge is thinking, and like, I can't take this anymore. He's not going to disrespect me. He's not going to disrespect my court. You know what I mean? This judge is really to the point where, like, I don't care who he is, he can't act like this anymore. But he also knows it's a burden. It's a burden on society. It's a burden that he has to bear if he does put him in there and all of a sudden something erupts, right? I have the rapid growth after the burden. So he has the rapid growth about the burden, but I also have the Knight of Swords, where it is the action, the impulse. But you see, I don't get them getting very far because whatever they produce, whatever action they're going to go forward, because he's got put in there, it's almost like a whole bunch of mosquitoes come into town and we just spray them all and they all fall. You know, that's what the feeling of it is. It's like, yeah, they're going to do it, but we just swat them away, put them in jail, because I get the Ace of Cups after it's all done and over with. You know, the Ace of Cups, that spirituality, that new feeling, that new feeling of, okay, finally he's getting justice. Finally, this country is going to try to move forward. And I also, for the 8 of Pentacles, the mystery of it. It's almost, it's like the decision, will he go, will he won't, will he go, is such a mystery to us at this point. But I do think opportunity presents itself. I think that judge will pull the trigger. I really do think he will. So let's read and see what's going to happen when he goes to jail. Let's see what the community is going to do.
And someone has to do it. You know, one of the judges has to be the first. Now, isn't it funny? Look, I was saying one of the judges has to be first, and the Fool falls out, which is, of course, the initiation of a journey, because they know whichever judge slams the gavel and formally sends him to jail, they know that they and history are going to be intimately connected forever, irrespective of what happens. They'll be down as the first judge that sent a former president to jail, but it's got to be done.
Yeah, first time for everything. Never been done before. Trump keeps on saying it's never been done before. Well, we've never had you either. Ever. You're our first. You're our first criminal, the major criminal for being a president. So yeah. All right. So let's check and see what's going to happen after he does get put in jail.
Once he goes to jail, what's going to happen? Trump goes to jail. I just pull out my cards. What's going to happen when Trump goes to prison? What's going to happen? And if anyone's watching from my Santa Fe retreat group, I'll be sending you guys an email after this for us to have a second group chat about the trip. All right, so let's turn my cards. Oh, what's going to happen after? Oh, this is interesting. Do you want to?
I'm excited. Go for it.
really interesting because the first card is very interesting. We look here, what happens when Trump goes to jail? And look, we get the Ace of Pentacles. What this tells me immediately is that he's going to use it to grift and fundraise. If because from I don't know much, of course, about American law and what happens once someone becomes a convicted felon. I remember someone writing in the comments in one video recently that because he's based in Florida, if he does become convicted, he won't be able to vote. Yeah, even
Sure.
vote for himself. But what this says to me is the Ace of Pentacles, of course, it does deal with money, finances, etc., stuff like that. One of the other interpretations of it can be fool's gold. So what I think the first thing he's going to try and do, and I think this is what he's seeing as an opportunity, because got to remember, he's a reality TV person, yeah, and a business person. He's going to try and turn everything to his advantage. So if he does get locked up, he's going to be right. Time to grift. Yeah, time to grift. So he's going to try and see it as a money opportunity. However, his obstacle card is the Ace of Swords, which is the truth. Yeah.
Wow. Two aces.
Yeah, so exactly, two aces back to back. So yes, he's going to try and grift, but ultimately his obstacle is the truth. People are going to have to accept, those that have been supporting Trump up until this time, once he goes to prison, it's different. Because then you're actually literally supporting a convicted felon and you are literally saying, I am against the rule of law. Now, remember, from what I understand, this is supposed to be the GOP's big flagship wagon. Yeah. Law and order, law and order. And it's like, okay, he's in prison now. Like, really? Okay,
they're full of it.
felon. You see, the truth becomes his obstacle. Once he's in jail, look, he's going to try and hold on to as much money as he can. So he may be able to kind of grift and fundraise a little bit at the start. But how much people, again, are going to give money to a convicted felon? While he's in prison as well, he's going to be trying to hold on to all of his assets and stuff like that. Because, of course, once he's in jail, he's no longer going to be able to defend his assets. You know, he's not going to be able to ring up people and go, conduct business from prison, I hope. Yeah. You know, I mean, but it's so bizarre because he's a former president and he has to have a security detail 100, around the clock. But you can see here he's going to try and hold on to his money, his position. However, if we look, we get the Wheel of Fortune. So his fortune will no longer be in his hands. But this is also a time of fate and destiny for all of America. And then the outcome card here, we have got the Nine of Swords. So this, oh, look at that. So again, this is the card of what? Mental disturbance, nightmares, difficult feelings, emotions, and anxieties. So even when he's locked in jail, there's still going to be some issues because, let's say, for example, what if it's home arrest? Yeah, which is something I've been talking about for a while. If it's house arrest, guess what's going to happen? He's going to go down to his front lawn. The media are going to get a boom mic, hang it over the fence, and allow him to do his proclamations. Yeah. Mar-a-Lago. Yep. So if they do lock him up, it has to be some kind of proper, secure prison where we don't hear from him. Hannibal Lecter style. Anyway.
Yes, I've been saying that.
Yeah, Hannibal Lecter, because his mouth is more dangerous than is the most dangerous part of him.
Do you see any exterior problems when he gets there in your cards? Do you see any?
Let's see. I'll pull a clarifier. What I see, just kind of tuning in intuitively, whatever prison he's at. Now, if I were them, I would put them on like an island or something. Yeah, it would like Alcatraz, or I don't know, or whatever, because whatever prison they put him in, those that really love Trump are going to make pilgrimage. Yeah, they're going to make pilgrimage to Trump. He's going to stand there at the window, waving, waving one of his McDonald's napkins or something like that, and being like, free Nelson Mandela. Yeah. So if I were them, if I were the authorities, I would put him on somewhere that's an island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they did with Napoleon, they banished him to where? What was it? Corsica or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So he needs to be on an island where people can't make vigil. Yeah.
We'll deport him to Russia and he can't come back.
They even want him. Here's my clarifier. Oh,
We
look
don't
at this.
care. We're just going to push him out the plane as we fly over.
I don't even think Putin wants him. Do you know what I mean? Because at that point, he'll be useless. Do you know what I mean? Putin wants people that are like the useful idiots, whatever, but they have to be useful. Once Trump is in prison, he's got no use for him. But in terms of the clarification on there, we get the Queen of Cups, which can normally be a creative force, but she is famous for her secrets. So I think I think if Trump is put in jail, he's going to spill the beans on a lot of things. That's what I
he
think.
won't be able. They won't be able to control. His handlers would not be able to manage that at all. That is for sure. And he won't have a mic.
Say again.
Yeah. He won't have a mic in jail.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He won't have a mic in there. But I also, you were going to pull a few cards to see what the exterior. Did you get any information?
Oh, right. Yeah. So there was the Queen of Cups. And let's see what else in the exterior. Let's pull another card. So I think if he's put in jail, he will just absolutely let rip and spill the beans on every single bit of intelligence he was ever told and embarrass a lot of people. What else? Oh, I'll pull one more card. Do I get? Look, Temperance. So what this suggests to me is that once he is in prison after the grifting, he's going to try and raise money. He's going to compare himself to Nelson Mandela, which everyone's going to find ridiculous.
Yeah.
A few of the cray-crays that are rusted on will make their pilgrimage. He'll likely divulge every secret that he's got. But ultimately, in terms of the outside world, could it be that temperance, that balance returns? Because once he's in prison, it's very hard to defend voting for him. Because, look, the Stormy Daniels is nailed on. And I said years ago, and I didn't know it would be her, but I said it will be a blonde that will bring down Trump. I thought it might be Ivanka or Liz Cheney, but it's looking like it could well be Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels.
Probably Stormy Daniels. And they said her
porn star.
Yeah, the porn star. And they said the level of detail that she went into, they said the judge had to actually stop her and was like, we don't need any more. And they just said it's just completely believable. So the idea that he'll get away with this is
Oh yeah. Even the judge was like, I was waiting for the other team to object. I probably would have sustained some. I think there was too much information that was going on, but they never stopped it.
They said the level of detail that she went into, they said they were like, she's telling the truth. She's telling the truth. Because if she can describe, the tiles of the bathroom, what was in his little vanity bag, we don't know what else she would have said into court, but apparently she went into quite explicit detail of what they got up to and stuff like that. That's not fake. You can't fake all of that. And obviously everyone's gone like, wow.
Yeah, and of course, what they were wanting at the end of the day is like, mistrial, because she elaborated on more than she's ever talked ever. She's elaborated and gave more of the story, so they considered her lying, not telling the truth. I'm like, no, she just told more of it. Okay. But I also get the Nine of Swords and the Four of Swords when he goes in. So that's the stress and the quiet, silence, the quietness, the rest. We get a rest after, we're worried about that. We want to rest. I also got the Seven of Pentacles and the Magician. You're right. The grifting is going to be absolutely there.
Oh, the charts.
The charts. I also have the Ten of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. Not only is he going to be able to grift, but all of the Republicans are going to be able to grift off of this, right? But what happens at the end of all of this, probably maybe 2 weeks worth of grifting that they can get, it's all going to fall.
Right. Yeah.
It's all going to fall. And then it's self-imposed problems that they have. I literally get the Tower and the Eight of Swords, with that. So the Tower, and they do it to themselves. You know what I mean? They do it to themselves. I don't get a riot. I don't get somebody, getting him out of jail. I don't see, a lot of them are saying, if you take him to jail, we will tear up this country. And I don't see none of that. I don't see any of that ever.
No, they know they're going to get locked up. And in many ways, that was actually one of the best deterrents. And imagine if the law was applied as swiftly and as thoroughly to the insurrectionists, as to those that are the main conspirators. Like they say, it's the suits and the boots. Yeah, they've locked up the boots. Time to lock up the suits, and that really will then be a future deterrent, because they've not faced any consequences. Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of them connected with it. Clarence Thomas's wife. All of them, like I said, need to be put in a wagon, just rounded up, dragged around town, and have rotten vegetables and dead animals thrown at them, and then locked up for a very long time.
I agree. I agree. However, the United States does not want to look like they're holding their opponents accountable, because it makes, that's how they think. That's the crux of everything that we say. We all want it, but then the Democrats are always, well, we don't want to look like we're punishing our opponent. That's, that gets me. That's the one part I don't care for with my party, is they kind of back off. I'm like, we don't want to look like we're doing that.
No, they have to, because this whole thing in many ways is actually bigger than America, even, because this is really getting to the crux of democracy, law and order. Because in many countries, including my own, and as you know, we all have a little dig at the United States, but people who watch me know I am just as critical, if not more, of the political class in my own country, who really, I feel, should just walk into the Thames at high tide. They really,
I know.
Terrible. But what Trump has done is he's upset not just the moral fabric of America, but so much of the integrity of democracy around the world, which the likes of Putin and Xi Jinping can exploit. Now, in a way, I'm not even blaming them, because we know that they're rivals. Yeah, Russia and China are together against the broader interests of the West. That's what anyone will do with any common sense. And when you've got someone like Trump, he's an absolute gift for undermining democracy. So the Democrats need to kind of just get over this "we don't want to look bad" kind of stuff, and find more moral fire, because it's an open and shut case. Here they can just throw the book at him.
I totally agree. We need to get over that little thing that they have. So let's shift some gears here. So I'm pretty sure you're pretty well aware of Marjorie Taylor Greene and her wanting to kick out the speaker, this, that, and the other. This morning's news was that her and the speaker had their own little talking thing, and what she wants is for the speaker to do this and do that and do this. It was like everything she says, don't fund this, defund that. Her chaos. And if he doesn't do that, I'm calling for the vote, right? So I'm kind of curious. Let's look at the relationship between those two right now, and then we'll go and ask the question: is she actually going to call it? Because she threatens it, and she's just like, I'm going to do it, and then she goes into mediation with him, and then she comes out. It's just ridiculous. But let's look at the relationship, see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going on.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, as you guys know, I have nicknames for certain people. And my nickname for her developed very early, and she is Leaky Douchebag Blowhard. That's my nice nickname for her. And when I first came out with that, people thought I was being a little bit harsh. I don't think they are now, because she is just outrageous. She's even worse than Dr. Orange. She's even worse than Trump. The stuff that she comes out with is so off the chart, wacky backy. You just think, oh, the fact that she's even there. But she raises a lot of money. That's why they want her around.
That is true. She's not raising as much as she used to. However, it's still there.
So what would you like me to read on? Like pull on? It's what's their relationship?
The relationship between Mike and her. Let's just take a gander at that.
All right. Relationship between Mike and Marjorie. Mike and Marjorie, Eminem. Mike and Marjorie. The relationship between Mike and Marjorie.
While he's doing that, I just want to tell Hilda thank you so much. Hilda is also the wonderful person that puts all my timelines on my timestamp, on all of my videos. She works so hard, bless her heart. And everybody just tell her thank you. And if you ever see her in my comments and she's put the timestamp on, please give her a like and a thank you.
Excellent. All right. Well, I've got this now. Look. Okay, so I've got some cards. What I would say is this is a complex relationship. It's a complicated one. Here, Knight of Wands, which is now the Wands, of course, is the fire suite. The Wand suite all deals with fire, passion, energy. So in a way, if we look at their relationship, let's not forget, like Marjorie Taylor Greene is sort of like this firebrand. That's essentially what she is. One of the things I would say is, you know, not to pay her a compliment, but at least she's consistent in terms of her viewpoint, which is that she's consistently rabid. She's not like Bill Barr, who then worked with Trump, facilitated Trump, left, bad-mouthed Trump, or told the truth, and now has flipped back. She's just been consistently like this, the charger on the back of her horse, rabid and a bit over the top. The shadow of this card as well can also talk about immaturity and stuff like that as well. But I think one of the reasons why she's declaring her beef so much is because she would have also been one of the vociferous people that helped get him elected as well. So do you see? So it's a complex relationship. I think this is also how the Knight of Wands is showing how her energy helped him get the speakership after the debacle of what's his face, the one that they got rid of. If we look here, though, in the obstacle position, we've got the Four of Pentacles. So in a way, they're both kind of trying to secure a position. They're both holding on. They both kind of need each other. In a way, Mike Johnson is proving to be a bit of grist to her flour mill, as it were. So, but I think it's more of a kind of, I think it's pantomime. I think it's pantomime. I think it's part of a bigger dialogue of them holding on to their positions, particularly with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She needs to be relevant. Yeah. So she's going to make all of this kerfuffle so she can hold on to her position and try and look tough. If we look here, though, we have the Emperor in the middle. So this can refer to, I think it refers to both their ambitions, to be honest. They both have, of course, fealty to Dr. Orange, Trump. But for me, Trump is not really so much of that Emperor energy. I think it's their relationship with power, their proximity to power. Trump is the vehicle, but really what they're interested in is the actual, like, patriarchal power. And also as well with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's got a lot of Aries energy. And when I looked at her chart, her Venus is in sidereal Aries. If we look here, though, the Sword of Truth is back. So isn't this interesting? Both of them are going to be trying to say that they uphold the truth in some kind of way. However, the truth is leading to this. If we see, we've got the Wheel of Fortune again. So I think their destinies are intertwined, and I think she's making noise for the sake of making noise, but really it's about their proximity and holding on to power. That's what I think it's all about. It's a marriage of convenience.
100%. I laid out my cards and I'm like, this is a game.
It's a game. Yeah.
It's a game. I got the Hangman and the Lover. Let's do this
Yeah.
together. Yeah. The
Let's do it.
Hangman
Yeah.
and the Lover. Let's do this again. And then I drew from my situational cards. And again, I came up with the Love. And I thought to myself, they are playing this game. This is a game that they're playing. I remember having a dream, and I think I posted it on my community page. I was like, I just had a dream or a nightmare, whichever one you want to call it, that Mike Johnson is going to be Trump's running mate. He's going to be his vice president. And I remember, I think if anybody's in my comments, that remembers that, I posted it on my comments. Like, I think that, and everybody's like, that's a nightmare. I'm like, I know, but I just had that picture of him doing it. And again, people are starting to see how he's trying for that job, right? And then Marjorie is trying for speaker.
Of course, of course, of course.
Yes, because they have sold themselves. I have the Star and being sold. They're selling their goods. They're selling their goods. And I got the page of Wands. Sorry, the discovery of how to get there. Because he wants to be that, right? If I don't think she's going to kick him out, because they have a twin flame going of Ten of Swords. They have the worry, the High Priestess, the power, the stress of it, but they have the twin flame, so they're in tandem. That's another thing. They're in tandem with each other. And I have the Six of Pentacles and the Moon. Again, another tandem relationship that they're having. Now, a question came up. I know we're almost there, like almost there. Another question came up around that is, since we did the relationship and all that, is will she actually do a motion to vacate? Is she really going to do that, or is she still playing the game? Because I don't know if there's anything productive out of doing what she keeps on, like, I'm going to oust him. Maybe she's trying to insert that she still has dominance and power over the speaker. Therefore, when the Republicans see her, they're going to see her as power. She still has power over the speaker, like she had over McCarthy. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. That maybe that's too far.
It's so interesting, though, isn't it, that we're picking up that same thing, that this is kind of like a game. They're working in tandem, and it, like what my cards were saying, it's like Trump is the figurehead, but what both of them are really interested in is the actual power, because that emperor in the middle, and both of them holding on. So it's like it's like they can do this pantomime, this theater of being these enemies to add that grist, that spice. And maybe she can push it to the edge, and then retreat at the last minute. Do you know what I mean? To keep the hot and sizzle going.
And they're also trying to deflect. As long as they have all the drama going on over there, nobody's paying attention over to Trump's stuff either.
Yeah. So what was this follow-up now?
So the follow-up question is just a short little question. Will she actually get to the point?
I'll try and get him ousted. Let's have a look.
Will she call for the vote?
Can you imagine Marjorie Taylor Greene as speaker? And wasn't she briefly speaker with the previous one, whose name's just gone out of my head?
McCarthy?
With McCarthy, wasn't there? McCarthy went somewhere and she was it for like a hot minute.
She did it. Somebody in the comments can tell what it's named, but all she did is a stand-in. She just ran. Yeah, she was picked. Oh, she was
a flavor, though, isn't it? She's managed to drink from the cup. If take a sip. Let's see, will she actually do it? Will she actually oust? Will she oust?
Every time you do that, I know why you're doing that, but every time I look up, I'm like, oh my gosh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. I'm like, who goes what? What
I
happened?
pick with my eyes closed. Let's have a look. Oh, this is interesting. This is really interesting. The cards are repeating, which is often the case, you know, showing how the energy is tied to get together. So if we look here, will she actually oust him? Oh, I don't know. It depends if the fight is worth it for her. So this will be, imagine this is Mike Johnson here trying to defend himself here from all the slings and arrows that have been thrown here, with one of the main sticks actually coming from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. So she's certainly going to make a show of it. Yeah, I think that's what because really what we're dealing with now is we're now dealing with theatre and pantomime. That's essentially what the house has kind of become reduced to in recent years. So show and pantomime. So she's going to make a big show of making Mike defend himself. Yeah. So she looks tough. But here in the obstacle position, we've got the sun. Now the sun is normally a universally positive card. But this is in many ways, but this is about enlightenment, illumination, being able to see things clearly, but it's come in the obstacle position. So it could be that maybe people might see through it. Yeah, people might see through it. You know, because it just doesn't make any sense this close to an election to make the GOP constantly look bad every week. Do you know what I mean? So she's thinking like, yes, I'm going to make rid of him and we'll make this big pantomime. But then the public are kind of like, what are you doing? Yeah, the light's coming down. If we look here, we got the 10 of cups. But whenever I'm talking about politics, this often refers to the GOP. Same for Lena Rodriguez as well. And we often refer to it as the fake family or the fake morals. So here's the GOP here in the middle with their fakeness, looking on at the whole kind of circus. But deep down, look, 2 of cups. It's a partnership.
Yes.
Just like what you were saying, it's a game. It's like, all right, today you're going to be Batman, you'll be Robin, or you'll be the Joker. They're just swapping hats as far as I'm concerned. She's an agitator. She's there to keep the base excited about something, keep the base engaged. But really, there's a deeper partnership between behind closed doors here, behind closed doors. And then the outcome, pardon me, the outcome card I get, it's a reversal, and it's the strength card reversed.
Oh.
When the strength card is the right way up, this is talking about moral virtue, integrity, self-restraint, etc. But when it's reversed, it can refer to bestiality, base motives, and moral rectitude and compromise. So we can see it is an immoral marriage.
Exactly. That's all I can say. These were the amazing cards that came out. I got the High Priestess, right? Pretending. I literally got the card of pretending. And then I got the Ace of Wands and projected. Ace of Wands and projecting. The tools, the wands always is action, right? The actions are projected. You keep them busy, keep them going, there's something going on. They have to, maybe if they're in fighting, then nobody will notice they're not getting anything done in Congress and in the House, because they only have one vote right now. But you know how hard it is for them to get anything done. And then I got the Hermit, right? Then maybe she's not going to, but they're both going to agree on something. The soulmates.
Look at that. I mean, our cards virtually said the same thing. Slightly different cards.
Absolutely.
you know, and different decks combined, but saying the same thing. So it's pantomime, guys. It's panto. It's what it
Yeah.
is. Pantomime. It's the look who's behind you. This is a big thing that's very popular in the UK still. We have this great tradition of pantomime, and it's like Punch and Judy. So all right, today I'll wear the black cap. Next week you wear the white cap, and we'll keep this show going to keep, you know, the hot and sizzle.
What was that? What was the wild coyote and the chicken? Remember that cartoon where they all punched in for work, and then they went
Oh,
out into the field, and the wolf, you know, protected the sheep, and the or something along that lines. Remember that somebody
Looney
else,
Tunes. Looney
somebody,
Tunes.
well, it was in Looney Tunes, but it was definitely Bugs. Was it Bugs Bunny where they sit there and they clocked in for work, and then they went out and played where somebody was going to get the sheep and he had to protect the sheep, and then when it was all done and over with, they had the lunch pails and they come in and clock. See you tomorrow, Fred. That's what the Roadrunner. Yeah, that's what it reminds me.
Yeah. I mean, it is like Looney Tunes, and I used to love Looney Tunes like as a kid, and I watched Looney Tunes way into adulthood. But for me, this is what it's kind of become. Congress really is become a pantomime. It's no longer about passing legislation, laws, truth, upholding the Constitution of America, reverence for law and order, and stuff like that. It's now about pantomime, pranks, staged set pieces, outrageousness, titillation, and frivolity,
Yeah.
really, and then playing with the budget and being cruel. And I mean, look at that the puppy killer. I can't even remember her name. That's just all it is. It's stuck in my head
Oh,
now.
Christy Nome,
Oh my god. I
governor
mean,
of South Dakota.
right. And she has the mendacity to complain and say, I've been misrepresented. No, you went and shot your puppy and then you shot a goat afterwards.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
knows her audience. That's the thing, is she literally knows her audience and who is going to read that book, and all she wanted to do is look like a bad A, in front of everyone. Like she would make the hard decisions. What kind of hard decisions are you going to be making while you're in power, Miss Christie? What decisions are you going to be making? Did you want to make the cruel ones? The cruel ones.
yeah. It's just, but they're saying that they've managed to. I mean, what she's done is so egregious. I mean, it was years ago, admittedly, but she's put in a book. What a fool! And it's, if
And
there's one thing that everyone can commit to, isn't it, or agree on, is that you don't want to vote for someone who's shooting dead dogs. It's just a no-no.
I think on both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats kind of have that, you just can't treat dogs or animals badly. That's no good. I mean, there's a thing, I don't know if it's in the UK or not, but here in the United States, we consider someone who treats dogs bad or has no compassion for animals, or kind of like sociopaths.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
she complains that the dog tried to bite her. Well, dogs are very, very aware of your character. They just know. The dogs are very good intuition, that they know and see. So
hmm
I was like, well, maybe that dog Cricket was telling you how bad of a person you were, but you didn't take that hint. So get rid of the truth teller. Get rid of the
yeah,
truth teller.
yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so we are pretty much at the end here. We got a couple of more minutes. Do you have a
So
question at all that you were thinking of as we go out?
I'm interested in the student thing. I'm just a little. I'm just with the student protests and stuff like that, because obviously what's happening in the Middle East and stuff like that, and I'm just concerned that it might actually affect the election quite a lot. So could maybe just read on the energy of how will those students vote, or what impact will they make on the 2024
You
election?
mean the Gen Z? Gen Z? Is that what you're talking about? The Gen Z?
Yeah, I guess so. Whoever those students are now, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose they would be Gen Z, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Gen Z. Well, there's a big part of Gen Z. They're going to be doing a tour in the United States, and they're going to hit all of the red states and all of the red cities, and they're going to do their thing there and try to turn these districts blue. So they're doing that. But let's look. So I think a lot of the Gen Z is not going to vote, or Gen Zs are really mad at Biden. I think that's a lie. I think that's a propaganda coming from the right side, because that's not what we're experiencing.
Wow.
So yeah, so let's look at that.
Students as well. Like when I remember I was reading on the students, and what was coming through in the comments as well is that yes, there were quite, when they had that staging thing, I think the students were peaceful, but it did seem that there were other characters that were there, and I was getting the high priestess card a lot as well. So obviously I don't know that much on the detail, but I was saying to people, look, there's something else going on underneath. So it's complicated. Definitely it's complicated. Let's see, what impact will they make on the 2024 elections? Gen Z, what impact will Gen Z make on the 2024 elections? And I just want to say a thank you as well to everyone who's left a review for my book so far. Much appreciated. Perfect score. Sheila.
Love for you. Absolutely. It has to be. I know that I even looked through it, even though astrology sounds like Greek to me, but I can learn Greek. I'm really trying.
No, it is accessible though. Like I suppose that's what I've been most proud of, particularly with the feedback so far.
So
the 5
easy
stuff, yeah. Which is great. Thank you. But yeah, people have just said, yeah, they found it very accessible, and they like this. They like the style as well as the information as well. So if you are a novice, like Sheila, it's still, it's not gonna. You'll still be able to really enjoy it, because planets are people. So I look at the father, where the sun is in your chart is also the physical body of your father. I look at the moon, which is also your mother, and her cooking style as well, what her cooking style may have been like. Mars is your siblings, but your brothers. Venus will be your sisters or your daughters. Do you see? Well, Mars is also your sons.
I am definitely going to get the hardback because I want to look at your art. Then I'm going to start from there. But yeah, I'm yeah, I'm definitely want the hardback book now, and I'm going to probably buy that today. Because I really want to take a look at your art. And the thing about it, Hogarth, is that whether you know it or not, what we're doing here, what all of us people who have been on YouTube and have YouTube channels, I mean, years from now, they're going to remember us, and you're going to be very, very important to this country, this world, and everything that we produce in it. So what you have is a big book of love for everybody, and I think that's incredibly special.
Oh, thank you. And it really is for everyone. However anyone votes, whatnot, color, creed, it really doesn't matter. It really is for everyone. And just want to just make our contribution. We're here as light workers, put these platforms for everyone and everything like that. And that's what it's about, really, humanity at the end of the day.
It truly is. Like Lena did her cards. She gave us a love for the cards. Linda G gave us also a book, just another book of love. And I think that's what we're supposed to do. I really do. So
indeed.
All right, my dear. Let's go ahead. I have to get to work soon. So
of course, yes, indeed. I'm looking at the time. It's gone so quick. It's always such a pleasure. So here, what impact students? Right, we get the death card. Now, as you guys know, the death card doesn't always literally mean death, but what it always means is transformation. Yeah, transformation. They're going to wield quite a lot of power, guys. I can't quite put my finger on it yet. It's just something I'm picking up in the collective, particularly with this generation. They really want to make bold decisions and choices, and they really want the old ways to die and for something new to come, because this is really what the death card is about. If we look here in the technical obstacle position, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, this is often denotes creativity or creative females in particular, but it's not always, it doesn't have to literally be that gender. But this is turning up in the obstacle position here. So again, she's got her little crucible of secrets here. So this, what this says to me as well, is that there's a lot going on with this generation, particularly as what they may perceive to be secrets in the mainstream or something like that. Their motivations are also a bit different from the generations that went before them. But if we look here in the middle, which is what the whole reading's anchored on, we have got the Ace of Wands here. So they want to make an impact, fertile new beginnings. They really do want to make big positive changes. And this shows that there's tremendous passion. Yeah, they've got tremendous passion for wanting to fertile new beginnings, basically. However, if we look here, they've also got the Four of Pentacles that's shown up as well. So there is an element here of trying to hold on to something or not lose any ground. The Pentacles can also deal with values as well. So there's something here to do with values as well that they want to hold on to. Maybe this is really what they're fighting for, what they're so passionate about, is a sense of values. But if we look, the outcome card here is the Hierophant, which is actually talking about the government and stuff like that. So this also deals with tradition, government, rules, regulations, spirituality, dogma, and organized religion. So there is an element here of, it's almost like, I can't call it a spiritual movement, but I think there is a spiritual element with this generation, and some kind of sense of values that they're holding on to as well. So they're new and radical and they want transformation and change, but there is also a conservative streak as well in there with some of this crowd. So it's not all super liberal. Let's just put it that way.
I agree with you. They're why are we echoing all of a sudden? That's weird. Okay, maybe that stopped it. All of a sudden there's an echo. I got the Six of Cups, the Charity. And that was really kind of curious for the question where, about the 2024 election, meaning that they're not going to vote for Trump, but they are going to charity Biden. That was my feel on that. My thought on that was that, you know what, they're not super, super pleased with Biden, but they're not going to vote for Trump, right?
Yeah,
the Queen of Swords. They're tired of the bitter cover up. They're tired of all of that, and they rather have another somebody else to vote for. But they're trying to single out, trying to get their own little niche going. I also had the Five of Wands, where there is some arguments in between them. Like, no, you got to do this way. No, you got to do that way. But at the end of the day, they're going to love their future more than they love the country itself. They're like, we have to do something for us. And I kind of thought that they're just biding their patience, biding their time until they are in charge.
Look at that. And that's a cow that you can see there. And Jupiter, planet Jupiter, has just moved into sidereal Taurus, guys, on May 1st, and will be there for a whole year. And Taurus is a sign of peace. So let's see, hopefully they'll bring peace. And I think that's really what they want. We all want peace, but they, that's become one of their main things. And maybe that's what that spiritual element is. It's about peace. And Taurus is a conservative sign as well. So it's about calming stuff down.
I agree. I think they're just gonna create a future that they want. They're not pleased with us adults right now. And I don't blame them. You know what? They've messed it up royally for them, but they're just biding their time. They really do. And I think that push comes to shove, they're not going to vote for Trump ever, or any of the Republicans ever. They have seen the destruction. So
it's just he's on many levels he should be unelectable, but it's like no one in good conscience, unless that's what you want, unless you want the fascism and the cruelty and all of that kind of stuff, then you know, it's a free country. Well, so far, people can vote the way that they want, but people should not be under any illusion. They can't pretend anymore. Not even Trump is trying to pretend about what he is, what he stands for, what he's going to bring in. So if people vote for that, then they're saying that's what they want. But will that be popular with the students and most sane, rational people? No.
No, I don't think so. All right, I hate to live and run, but I gotta run. I got like 15 minutes to get ready and clock in. So
No problem. No problem.
thank you
Super quick.
so much, Hogarth. Well. This has been like 2 or 3 months in the waiting for us to get this done, huh? And I'm
Yes.
so glad. So I will definitely the next time I probably do maybe a another early bird, maybe in June or July. I would love to have you back.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. And you don't forget, everyone, Sheila will be joining us on Hogarth this Saturday. So we'll be collaborating again, and there'll be more different collaborations in the future as well as Lady G makes her recovery. But thanks so much for having me on. Thanks so much for having a read of the book. Thank you, everyone who's given their reviews so far and stuff like that. Go get it. You'll love it.
I know I'm getting mine today, so before it all runs out, you better go get yours. All
Thanks
right,
so much.
everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.